topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Good morning, Dallas-Fort Worth. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where we bring you the top experts in the field of health, legal, financial, and home improvement. Hey, if you're wondering, wait a minute, why are they on now? They're normally on at 4 o'clock in Dallas on Wednesdays. Well, we've had so many people on our waiting list. We've opened up another day, so now Dallas-Fort Worth is 2 days a week now, and it's I say it's filled up. We got one more slot left if you have a business, if you're an attorney. Today, we've got such a great show. It is so dear to my heart because, first of all, I'm going to tell you, it's kind of giving my age away. I'm on Medicare, and I am loving it. We have two of the greatest ladies that know Medicare. They know the insurance business. Let me welcome you to the show today. Your Medicare gals, Lynn Tim and Sharon Luker. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. How are you?
I love doing this show because it's, like I said, it's very dear to my heart. I'm on Medicare, and I think it's the greatest. So when I hear people complain about it, I have no complaints at all. But it's really important that they have someone like yourselves who can educate them, because I did not have that. I missed out on that. And I got to tell you, it's very important that your agent really can educate you, because there's so much to know. Ladies, let's tell people about your Medicare gals first.
All right. I'll start. My name is Lynn Tim, and I'm here with Sharon Luker, and we are your Medicare gals. Sharon and I have a background in financial services. However, we both specialize in Medicare insurance now, and we do help educate, as you say, Steve, people on the transition to Medicare and navigating all of your choices, how to do it properly, when to do it, and so forth. There's so many, there's so much to know. So Sharon and I decided to join together, as we live in the same part of Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and help be a community resource for people in our community, as well as throughout the country, because we are licensed in a lot of states. So we have clients throughout the country that we help, with this subject.
One thing I want to add to that,
Sure.
Lynn, I mean, we are Medicare, and I will use this word, experts. Lynn and I are very good at what we do, but we also help with other retirement issues like long-term care insurance. If you need any sort of life insurance, if you're trying to start an income stream, if you're retiring. So we are not solely Medicare, but we do a lot of it.
And, like I said, I'd learned by experience, there is so much to know. And what I love about this show is I got I hate using this expression, but I got kind of caught with my pants down because I did not realize when you had to sign up. And so because of that, I missed a whole year not knowing. And I know there's a lot of people out there like me, and I could have found two other women who were so educated, so knowledgeable, and not just about Medicare, in all areas of health insurance, life insurance.
There's
Yeah.
so much to know, and there's an exception to everything. So, as we talk about some of these subjects today, just keep in mind that everybody's situation is different, and there's an exception to every rule. So we're going to discuss things really from a 20,000-foot level, just the basics, because we couldn't put everything, in this amount of time. But there's a lot to know, and people really do need an expert to help them navigate, this journey.
So I think my advice would be when you're turning 65, the bell should go off. You should assess your situation. You should call us. You may not need to go on Medicare at that time, but you may need to go on Medicare at that time. Like Steve was saying, I got a call the other day, in fact, from someone who's still working, still on her health insurance at work. And her mother was in her ear going, "You need to call those girls. You need to call those girls. You need to go on Medicare." Well, in her particular case, she did not need to go on Medicare. And I told her just to not listen to her mom, not read everything, but just talk to the experts. So the key is you need to know the timing and what works for you at that particular time.
I got to tell you, there's, and we'll explain today. Tell people what they need to know about joining Medicare. Sharon, I'll start off with you.
Okay. Well, something that people find very interesting is you don't sign up for Medicare through Medicare. You sign up through Social Security, okay? The Social Security office or online, however you want to do it. And the key is that if you are already on Social Security, if you're already receiving a monthly check, you will, when you turn 65, you will automatically get signed up automatically. Okay. If you are still working, if you are not taking Social Security, you have to be proactive. You need to go to Social Security and you need to sign up. And there's multiple ways. With me and my people, we do it all online. With COVID, it made it easier to sign up online. Offices are now open. You can go to the office. And I'm hearing in our area, I don't know, Lynn, if you've heard this, but I'm hearing that the offices, you can get in the door within an hour, and they're being very nice and they're helping people. And you can also call up and sign up.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I was
I don't know,
going to
Lynn, do you
say
want to add to that?
Yeah, two things I want to add to that is I'm starting to work with people sometimes 2 and 3 years out before they're ready to retire. They want to know what their costs are going to be for Medicare, if they need to sign up, all of those types of things. So I would say, as a rule, maybe start talking to someone a year before you turn 65 and just make sure that you are, whether you need to sign up, how long you're going to keep working. What if you're contributing to an HSA? That affects it. So there's a lot of things that people need to be aware of. Younger spouse, medical condition. What if you're undergoing cancer treatment? What about COBRA? We could go on, but there's a lot of things that can be a pitfall if you're not aware of them. So I would say, start looking into it maybe a year in advance, just to make sure, of what you need to do in your situation. And then I had someone call me yesterday who got laid off suddenly. Their benefits are ending. They're past 65 and they needed to sign up for Part B, and they needed to start on June 1st. And, if you go online and do that, you're not possibly going to get it processed in time. So I'm telling people now, if they need Part B or A and B in a short amount of time, to go to the local office, take your paperwork, put it in hand. And I've had situations where I was able to see their Part B being effective, within 24 hours. It is super fast if they go down there and meet with someone. So if you are pressed for time and need a quick turnaround, going in person is definitely, what you need to do. And Sharon, you're right. I'm hearing much better feedback now about just showing up in the office and, getting in to see someone within 15 minutes or less than an hour. So things have definitely improved, in person at the Social Security offices.
Lynn, let me add to that. When you are, excuse me, when you're turning 65, and let's say you are still working, because we see it that all the time. People are working past 65. You need to assess the financial side of it too. You may have a plan in your office in work, but you're paying a lot of money for it. You might be paying $500, $600, $700, $800 for it. You can jump off that plan and get on Medicare and assess the cost of what Medicare Part B will be, if you want an Advantage plan, if you want to supplement. And I have people jump off their work plan and go on Medicare because it is cheaper. But one thing I do want to point out, because I had a client talk to me yesterday, was about the IRMA surcharge, IRMAA, the IRMA surcharge. If you go on Medicare Part B and you make X amount of income, joint income or single income, depending if you're single, you may have an extra charge added on to your Part B premium. And it can be substantial. And a lot of people are shocked when that happens. But be cognizant of the IRMA surcharge also when doing your analysis.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I pay for my Medicare out of my Social Security. And I want people to know I got a letter by email from the Social Security office telling me that there's been some improprieties on my Social Security, and they are shutting it down until they find out what's wrong with it. Let me tell you something, this letter looks so real. And I called Social Security. I was only on the phone hold for about 10 minutes, which surprised me. But it was a phony document. And they said they're getting a lot of them. But it was very scary because it looked so official. And so,
that is a good point, Steve. There's a lot of scammers out there.
Yes.
So do exactly what you did. Call direct and ask them. One other tidbit that I've heard recently, and I don't know, Lynn, if you've heard this, but people go on, once they're on it, they go into the Medicare website and they set up their Part B premium payment automatic out of their checking account. I've heard recently that some people are getting dropped from the auto payment, not knowing, then their Part B premium is getting dropped, and then they get into that whole mess of trying to get it back online. So I'm now telling people, if you have that periodic payment, I know personally, I'm on Medicare. I pay it. I don't have it, I pay it direct. But do always check that bank statement and make sure that is coming out. Now, Steve, if you are on Social Security like you are, that happens automatically. I'm really talking about the people that are not having it taken out of their Social Security check and taking it out of their bank account. Have you heard that, Lynn?
I haven't, but it doesn't surprise me.
Okay. Yeah, right. It's government.
Very scary. Because it's
it is scary.
Yeah, and I have read where, there's a certain very low premium Part D plan, and in some states, zero cost, that policies are lapsing, and, the company is not letting the agents know that the policy is lapsing. So it is important to make sure that your payments are all in place. If your Part D is getting deducted from your Social Security, or whether you're mailing in a payment, if you're paying for a Medicare supplement, always make sure that you're seeing those drafts, because if those policies lapse, it can be extremely difficult to get them in place again. So you're absolutely right. Always keep an eye on all of those Medicare premiums.
I haven't let you know this yet. We gave them your phone number. We had 5 people who saw that, you're going to be coming on this week, that all had the same question, but they were in different parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It wasn't the same person, but they all wanted to know HMO versus PPO. And they want to know what you thought was better.
Well, so one thing people need to realize, when you go on Medicare A and B, there is no network. There is no HMO. There is no PPO. The key is, does the doctor or facility or hospital take Medicare? If you decide to get a Medicare supplement policy with your A and B, there is no network. You don't worry about that. It's like we're going back in time. For us older people, we're going back in time. No network. You can use it all across the country. You only have to deal with HMO PPO if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, a Part C Medicare Advantage plan. And yes, that is crucial, because they do have HMOs, they do have PPOs. Those plans act like your health insurance that you had prior to 65. And people that had health insurance prior to 65 are used to the HMO and the PPOs. And if you're on an HMO, network is crucial. PPO also. Don't think because you're in a PPO that you don't have a network. You do have a network, you just don't have to stay in it. And if you go out of it, you're going to pay a lot more money.
Yeah, and with an HMO, remember that is more managed cost for the insurance company. So in general, an HMO is going to give you lower costs, but you're going to have more restrictions. So you're going to have to choose a primary care doctor. That doctor is going to have to oversee any referrals to see a specialist. So basically, you've got a point person managing your care. If you need to go see a specialist, you need to go through that primary care physician. And again, there are exceptions to every rule. So some HMOs are called open access HMOs, and they will allow you to see a specialist without going through your primary care. But in general, a PPO is less restrictive. In general, more doctors take PPOs, but it also depends on where you are. So I was working with a client in California and in the Los Angeles area, and she was coming from a PPO plan, with her company, and aging into Medicare. And guess what? Her doctor on Advantage plans only took HMOs, which is unusual. So, in some regions, HMOs are, the best choice because more doctors might take an HMO. It just depends on where you are. But again, that's when you need an agent who can check into all of your options, get your list of doctors, get your list of medications, understand your situation, your budget and all of those types of things, and help you, if you're going to go with an Advantage plan, help guide you on the best plan for you.
Lynn, I want to add to that, and you brought up a good point. Not all doctors take Advantage plans. Okay, let's start with that. Not all hospitals take all Advantage plans. Not all laboratories take all Advantage plans. Many doctors, like Lynn was saying, in this area, in the DFW area, I'm finding many doctors will take the whatever company, say Humana PPO, but not the HMO. So you do have to watch your doctor. If you call up and you say, hey, do you take United Healthcare or Aetna? And they go, yes, we do. Well, you better be very careful. Do you take the HMO or the PPO plan? And I am seeing more and more doctors only take PPO plans and not the HMOs.
Wow.
Wow is right. Wow.
That is a wow. There's people also don't quite understand if you're on a HMO versus a PPO when you're out of state and you have to go to the emergency room.
Well, Medicare, if you're on an Advantage plan and it's an emergency situation, an Advantage plan will cover you anywhere in the U.S. So you can go to the emergency room, and the cost should be the same. If it's a non-emergency situation, then no, it's not going to work that way. But
Okay.
but an emergency, Medicare makes sure that you're always covered.
Well, and the problem with that is I see is what is an emergency? Okay. So there's a
Yes.
little, you know what I'm saying? People can
Yes.
go to the ER for a cold. Is that an
Yes.
emergency? No.
So
So
it has to be life-threatening, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, life-threatening emergency. But one thing, Steve, is in this area, some of the PPOs. Oh no, I think there's an HMO out there too, that they have what they call a travel benefit. A travel benefit. So I could be here in Dallas, Fort Worth. I could be going to Colorado, and if that particular carrier happens to, be in that state and have the plan in that state, then it acts just like I'm going to the doctor across the street in the network. Okay. So this is relatively new over the last year or two because of what you were saying, because of people traveling. So when you have an Advantage plan and you do travel, you do want to see if there is a travel benefit because that will go with that plan.
Sharon, I've even seen in some states and some carriers an international travel benefit. Can you believe that? I mean, we haven't seen that type of thing before in an Advantage plan.
You know what is
Wow. You and I need to talk afterwards. I did not know that.
You know what's so confusing is I don't know about you, but I must get, and it has tapered off a little bit, but I must get 10 calls a day. People wanting to offer me, I mean, everything from, to sign up for Medicare with them. And that has made it to me why it's so important to have someone like you, the Medicare gals, because I'm getting thrown all kinds of, I've got Medicare, but they're trying inducements. I guess that's the best thing. And you need an agent to help you guide you through all this.
Well, my advice on that is hang up. If they are calling, hang up and then call your agent.
They are not
call your
fun.
agent. Yeah. And call your agent and go, I just heard this, because some of what they say is true. Some of it is out there, but you may not qualify for it. It may not be available in a lot of these plans are county driven. So you could have a plan in Dallas, Fort Worth, Dallas County, but not in Collin County where we are. So don't listen to them. All they're trying to do is get you to sign up. But I'm not saying what they're saying is true. And I know, Steve, I'm with you. Being on Medicare, I must get at least 20 calls a day, trying to sign up. And there is legislation out there to kind of stop some of this because it is flat out annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And you don't know. And all of a sudden, I was doubting my agent, who I got to tell people, your agent is so important. I haven't even told the ladies just yet. I am going to be changing over to them because service, I mean, I get no service. It's a relative. I get no service from them at all. I know with the Medicare gals, you all are going to service me, give me all my choices, And I've been learning it is so important to have a really good, knowledgeable agent like the Medicare gals.
One thing to point out on that, Steve, is when you are looking for an agent, you want to look for what they call an independent. That's the key word, independent agent. And what that really means is we represent all the, almost all of the companies, most of the companies in the area. So we are indifferent with what company that you go with. Some agents only work for one company. And it may be a great company, may be a great plan, but it may not be the best plan for you. So a question when you're interviewing is, how long have you been doing this? And are you an independent agent? Those are two key things in my world.
Well, we just got a text. Bob in Grapevine said, would you talk next time about long-term care?
Well, long-term care is both of our, it's my little passion in life. And Lynn and I both do long-term care. We would love to talk about it. And what was his name? Was it Bob? What was his name?
Bob in Grapevine.
Bob, my recommendation would be is to talk to us more on an individual basis, because there are many options for long-term care, and they've really expanded it recently. But they're very individualized. And so I would probably recommend, we can do a long-term care talk, but if you're interested in just seeing what's available, seeing if you qualify, I think you should just call one of us directly.
That's a great idea, because we're getting ready to give out your phone numbers. Let's start off with Sharon.
Oh,
How
sure.
do people reach you?
Sure. Sharon Luker, 972-596-1318. You can also go to our website at yourmedicaregals.com or email us at yourmedicaregals@gmail.com, and it'll go to one of us and we'd be able to help you.
Lynn?
I'm Lynn Tim. My direct number is 214-762-4247. And again, you can send us an email, yourmedicaregals@gmail.com, and one of us will get back with you quickly.
Beautiful. Time goes so fast with this show, but you'll be back with us again next month. Thank you so much. I love doing this show with you.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, ladies. That is the Medicare gals. I'm telling you, folks, I went through this. Don't do this yourself. Get a good agent like the Medicare gals. They would love to help you. And just let them educate you on all the different programs out there. But don't wait like I did, miss out on a whole year, because there's an open window out there. That's it for us today. We'll be back with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Everybody have a wonderful week, a great Memorial Day. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.